Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emerald Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.
So you start recording in this software and then you go live.
Yes. We're going to do it. And Tanya, can you help us to make sure we actually are live?
Yeah, how can I help?
Just on your phone or iPad or whatever?
Yeah.
You want me to?
Just make sure that we're live.
Oh, make sure.
Yeah. Just check us out on YouTube. At least somebody will be logged in.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching.
Always feel like somebody's watching me. Sorry.
Here you go. We're live. It says.
Whoop, whoop.
Are we actually live?
I don't know.
I don't either. Hello.
You know, one way to find out is to do something embarrassing, and then you will know if you're live.
Have at it, sir.
I always do that. I don't need any help.
Oh, that's fun. We even have chat up here. Sweet. We are live. Well,
Nice.
We'll kick this off in dose minutes. Even though we're recording, we can always cut that part off. I know how to snip a video.
All right.
I know.
We're learning.
We're learning.
Can we show off our cool
Amazing
new mugs?
Mugs.
Whoop. Get that.
Jim,
You got us mugs.
I did. I'm gonna get something in it real quick.
Those turned out really nice.
Didn't they?
Turned out really, really nice.
Really just taking
I
forever.
thought you were bringing tacos for today.
That'd be nice. Forgetting everything though. Hey, I brought the stand and the computer.
Those aren't tacos.
They're not. They're not.
They're not.
I have no idea to know. Hey, we have one person watching, which is Tanya.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who's out there?
I don't know.
Does
Can
it-
we see?
Can we see?
Man, no, we can't. That's all right. You know what's funny? We're just doing this.
Yep.
We just, we're not being perfect about it,
Yep.
ironically.
No telling what's going to come out of our mouths.
I know. We'll find out.
And you get to see things that we do before that we don't normally do, like, go Navy.
Yeah. No. No.
You
no.
know you wanted to
You
be
meant to say
Navy.
Air Force.
No, I did not.
You did. Tanya actually gave us a message. It's exciting. Hey, it's 12 o'clock.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Tab Lab with your host, Mickey Kilburn,
Boop, boop.
and myself, Neil Grossheider. This is our first ever live podcast, and we are still learning it. So that's really exciting.
Please forgive any technical difficulties that we might have.
Probably going to be a few.
Might be.
Probably. But we have a couple big shout outs. First of all, we want to thank Tanya Seabrook with Seabrook Marketing
Yes.
and her podcast, Run a Show. She is the one who is helping us make this happen. So, I'm going to rephrase that. She is the one making this happen for us.
I don't know about how, but she's doing it
She's
for us.
doing it
Yeah,
for
she's
us.
making it work.
I brought the computer and these cool mugs.
And the mics, yeah.
But other than that, Tanya is really the one behind the scenes making this actually work for us. So, big shout out to Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other big shout out is Ryan Balmer with his podcast, Suffer Up. He helps us with all the analytics and all that other stuff, telling us what we should actually be looking for because we're really not that great at it.
And thankfully, he hasn't told us to stop.
He has not, so he still helps us. So
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
So somebody's listening.
A couple people. My mom listens.
I think my mom might be.
See? Yeah.
There's our two.
We have fans. But today is a fun topic.
It is.
It's kind of ironic, too. So today we are actually talking about being good enough, the dilemma of just being good enough, and how perfectionism kills business and ideas and products.
It does.
So
100%.
ironically, we decided to do this on a live podcast because this is not going to be perfect. I will tell you right now, it is not perfect. We struggled like the last 30 minutes trying to get things to work. Well, I struggled because nothing worked. Because, why would it?
Yeah.
But
It's not supposed to.
it's not. But being good enough. Why can't I be a perfectionist, Mickey? Why? Because if I'm going to release a product, start a business, it needs to be perfect, doesn't it?
Well, that is the dilemma. People are all the time, I can't put this out yet, it's not perfect. I
Yeah.
want to tweak this, I want to tweak that. Let me get some feedback. Let me ask my buddy Neil. Neil, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And you just keep,
Go
it's
back
a
and forth.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And, I think, a lot of us want to be perfect in everything. We don't want to look not perfect. We don't want to look not professional. We
Not
don't,
prepared.
yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Look at you, you're a smart dude. I don't know why I say you're not.
This is real life experience happening for the last half an hour.
Truth. Truth. Yeah. And Neil, that's one of those things that, it's like having that taco. When you're trying to make this taco,
I like tacos.
and you're like, oh, it doesn't look quite good yet. I'm not quite ready. The sauce isn't just right. It's a little too mild. I want a little more kick. It's not a little sweet. I want some more hints of this. Meanwhile, the guy down the street who's making that imperfect taco,
That's me.
selling them
That's
like
this guy.
crazy.
Going like crazy.
Selling them like crazy. And you know what? That perfect taco is beautiful, but it's not putting any money in your pocket.
It goes back to that age-old adage of you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yes.
So you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if your taco isn't perfect yet, can't you perfect it along the way?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Usually the first draft is rarely perfect anyway.
True.
And when you think about it, when you do, in all seriousness, when you make a new dish, for me, when I cook, I start with the recipe like they say it, but by the fifth time I make it, it's not even close to what it was.
Yeah.
It's getting better each time I'm changing it. And if we don't know what we don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can
And
we
how
make
can
it
we-
perfect when we don't even know what the people want yet?
Correct. Ooh, I like that. Don't know what the people want. So that's actually a Jeff Bezos thing. So it's called like the Amazon 70% or something. And he basically says you start with 70% of the information you wish you had. You start there, and then you start tweaking it over time. You start getting it out there just to see what the people want, and then getting that feedback to change it. I mean, think of the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
When the iPhone came about, 2009-ish time frame?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Pre-2010. It was very basic. Apps weren't really coming out yet. Like you had Apple-approved apps. And people wanted apps.
Yeah.
Then now look at it. Now there's literally an app to do anything.
Yeah. And now these phones, that little phone that we carry around, has more computing power than my very first computer.
Exactly. So it wasn't perfect when they kicked it out, but it was good enough to hit the market to change the market.
Yeah.
And then they just constantly perfected it year after year after year.
And boy, did they.
Yeah. But it's kind of goes to the same thing, right? Like if we're scared to push something out, if we're scared to go live for a podcast, we could have stopped and done research, and figured this out. I tested this once before and it worked okay, I think. I did accidentally go live. I was told, I was like, oh no. But we just decided to do it because we're going to learn from this experience right now.
Yep.
To see if it works, see if it doesn't work, how we can make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we first started this, remember when we started at our desk in our homes.
Oh, yeah.
Home offices, working this and doing it like that. And,
Yeah, doing it via Zoom.
And we have really evolved into that. And it's
We even have cool mugs now.
yay. We look so much different than when we started. That's just crazy how we have changed and evolved. And I'm not sure how many podcasts we've done now. You probably know right off the bat.
I don't. Quite a few.
Yeah.
We've been doing it since August. Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, when you talk about this, I think really one of the big things about this is that people, I think, are afraid when they put something out that it's not going to be successful. That fear of failure creeps in.
Does. It
That
does.
imposter syndrome creeps in. All this creeps in your head. So I would say, and you probably got something cool, statistic or study or something about
We'll
this,
find
but
out.
I would say that there's probably a reason why we procrastinate putting that out.
We do, actually. We procrastinate it. And there was a study done, actually, that links perfectionism. Basically, it's not saying perfectionism is wanting something to be perfect. Perfectionism is actually a link between self-confidence,
Ooh.
yeah, and the feeling of your product not getting the praise that you think it deserves, or somebody kind of talking about the product in a negative way, or whatever it is. So they're saying perfectionism really isn't this mindset that it has to be perfect. Perfectionism really is the fear of the feedback.
Yeah. Man, that's good.
So
That's good.
when you think about perfectionism that way, if you're scared of the feedback, yeah, you're never going to kick a service, a product, anything out. You're never going to start that business. But if you want that feedback to get better and you're just waiting to make it perfect, you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
You're killing the business before it even starts.
Right.
And that's the other scary thing. So 40, I think it's 42%, around just over 40% of small businesses fail because they release a product or a service, or they start the business that nobody truly wants. So they start this business and people aren't wanting it. But they don't know that because they try to make it perfect. Where if they would have kicked it out when it was good enough, all of a sudden it hits the market, people aren't buying it, they're not using it, they start getting feedback of like, well, we really don't want this, but if it did this, then they can take that and tweak it. So that's 42% of businesses fail. Startups fail.
And the irony is we think we're making it perfect, and the market will dictate what is perfect. But
Yeah,
we're trying to
ooh,
make it perfect.
That's good.
Yeah.
But that's very true because perfect how we see it,
Yes.
how we envision it. But what if I made these mugs and that's not what you wanted?
But you did.
I did.
They're so cool.
Yeah. But if I would have made
was
that
excited.
and all of a sudden that's not what Mickey was looking for, he was looking for a pint glass, he'd have
Ooh.
been like,
Next round.
see that? He'd have been like, you know what, that's cool, but I'm not going to buy it because I want a pint glass. I don't want a coffee mug.
Yeah. That's very true.
If I would have stopped and been like, oh man, I should have actually kicked this out at a beta test or something, see what they wanted before I thought they were the most amazing thing, I would have been told, like, switch gears. Off you
Yeah.
go.
That's good. And when you talk about that, procrastination and fear of, not being perfect and all that thing, this really goes into, and I know you're not going to be surprised by this comment, but this goes into your disc profiles as well.
He's got a nerd out on us.
Because if you have
There he
a
is.
high I, say, I don't know, 99 or something like that, yeah. If you have that high I, you may procrastinate and procrastinate and procrastinate and never put it out because you're afraid of the feedback that you're going to get.
Yep.
Because eyes are people pleasers, right?
Yep.
So you'd be afraid of that. And, and same thing for the other ones. You could be, if you're S and C's, you could be analyzing it to death instead
yeah.
of just putting it out.
Yeah. That's where the high D's come into play. They're like, just go, just do it, and see what happens.
Yeah. They did. Just go for it.
You do.
And then they'll fix it
Yeah.
when it comes back. So that's a good thing for D's.
It is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, most business owners, when they start, they don't want I guess, how do I phrase this? They don't want their brand, when they first start off, to be something that failed, or to be something that was bad, or that they go back to the drawing board, and everybody knows them for that.
Mm-hmm.
But rarely that's the case, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you start something, people usually don't remember that very first thing that you had. They remember what you have now and how it's improved. Or, man, that really wasn't great when it started, but now it's amazing. Now I want to do that. So those perfect tacos,
Yeah.
just kicked it out and be like, yeah, the taco's okay. Then you go be like, dude, I don't know what he did, but he got better.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and try it again. Those tacos.
That's exactly right. And so I don't know. This is a old man story here.
Oh, man.
So Hyundai, when they
Back
first
in the
came in,
30s.
back in the day. So back when we rode horses, anyway. So Hyundai, when they first came out, they had really inexpensive cars. and people were scooping
That's
them
right.
up.
Yep.
But they had horrible reliability.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. They would break down all the time.
Yep.
So Hyundai came out with this ridiculous bumper to bumper type of warranty that was just covered everything.
Yeah.
And so now, if you're buying Hyundais today, people who are buying Hyundais today, they don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. In fact, you probably didn't know that until just now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, that if you put it out there, if it's not perfect, well, let's get it perfect as we go.
And so this actually goes to a study that Hewlett Packard did. So HP does a ton of studies. I mean, it's a massive company, right? So they do a ton of studies, and they did one on people who apply for jobs, specifically within Hewlett Packard. They found that men will apply for a job if they are only 60%, they have the credentials of 60% of whatever it is. So they don't have all the credentials needed for the job.
So risk it for the biscuit at 40%.
Correct. Women won't apply unless they have 100%. They meet 100% of the criteria.
Interesting.
So men will apply if they meet only 60% of the criteria, and women will only apply if they meet 100% of the criteria. So when you stop and think about it, women are waiting for it to be perfect because that's the criteria, what's needed for the job, right? Makes sense. Men are like, you know what? I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And guess who Hewlett Packard ends up hiring? The people who apply.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Now, if a woman applied and she met 70% of that criteria, well, she would probably get the job
Mm-hmm.
because she meets more of the criteria than the man does.
Yeah.
But she didn't apply. So they're truly just accepting the people that apply for the job, even though they may not be the best candidates out there. So that really puts a different spin on things when you're talking about being good enough.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to buy from your competitor because it's available. If your product's not available or your service isn't available,
That's right.
they can't buy from you.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting for it to be perfect, it never hits the market.
Yeah.
Like if I waited and Mickey just unleashed his tacos, I know mine are better, but I just want to wait because I'm scared that it's not criteria wise.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the one actually getting business.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. And, the more we talk about it, the more you just see that, not being good enough falls a lot in the lines with the imposter syndrome.
It does.
Where you don't think you're good enough.
Correct.
And, that's just, when you do that, when you have a why and you're pushing for that why, if you're not pulling the trigger, you're actually hindering yourself from your why.
Yep.
You're never going to achieve it. If that why is to have a business that is running, that you don't have to be there day to day, but you can't say, hey, I'm going to let you have control of that, then you're hindering your own why.
Yep.
You're hurting yourself.
Yeah. That's 100% it. And it's because if we don't have this, it's never gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other issue people have is they don't put a timeline on it, or they put a ridiculously long timeline. So next year I'm going to kick out this product, and then we fall into the entire trap of Parkinson's law, which the allotted time given is how much time it will take to do it. So if we give ourselves, hey, in 1 year we'll unleash this product, and it's already like 80% done, we will spend a whole year working on that 20% and polishing it up to make it perfect. Whereas if we gave ourselves a month, what would we do?
Yeah.
We'd focus on the things that matter, cut out the little things that don't matter, and we would just unleash it and then go, because we used Parkinson's law to fill that time.
Yeah. So Neil, let me ask you a question. We talked about the problems. We talked about how it hurts you. So now let's say, because you work with Neil works with a lot of people on their SOPs.
Yay!
That's one of his nerdy things. He loves to do SOPs and OSOIs.
I need to write one for going live on the podcast. That would be handy.
Pray for me. So anyway, when you have a coaching client come up to you and say, hey, I'm working on my SOPs. And they've been working on them for 6 months.
Yep.
And they still haven't put these SOPs out. What is some things that you might say to that entrepreneur to help them?
I love this. I
move
just had this
along?
conversation. So the first thing I ask is, well, what are your procedures for modifications and changes? You got a blank stare. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, for your SOP mods, like how do you modify it throughout the lifetime of the SOP? And they're like, I don't know. So, well, you need a procedure. You need a procedure for your SOPs.
A procedure for your procedures.
Procedure for the procedure. And they're like, what? And I was like, okay, if you kick out your SOP and there needs to be a change, are you going to rewrite the entire SOP, or are you just going to do a change request? They said, well, a change request. Perfect. Let's get that down. Let's put that, it goes in the very end of your SOP, how to do a change request, and you put a sample of it in there. And that, whenever somebody's using it, oh, hey, there's an error here, or hey, we got a new software here, or this changed.
Yeah.
You do the change request. So you kick out that SOP as good as you can for that time. So if they've been working on it for like 6 months and still haven't done it, be like, okay, cool, next month we're releasing it. May 1st, baby, here we go.
Yeah.
And you will release it to your company. And if there are changes that need to be made, which there will be,
100%. Yeah.
you do the change request.
Yeah.
You have the procedure for the procedure. And then annually you go back and review it with your leadership team to make sure it's all still good.
That's sound advice, sir.
You know, I like SOPs. They're fun.
Just a little bit.
They're
Yeah.
fun. But I mean, that's one way we have to do it. So when we do release something that is not perfect, we're just like, I don't know if it's good enough. Again, going to that imposter syndrome, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if it's good enough. Have a way to fix it. Like, hey, I'm going to release a beta test. I love beta test.
Mhm.
Version 0.1 is a great place to start, because then you're doing so many things. You're kicking it out to the market,
Mhm.
so you're getting it out there. You're getting over this perfectionism hurdle that you have. 2, you start getting actual real life feedback. So if I'm releasing that taco, my taco may be 1,000% better than the guy down the street, but he's already selling tacos. And I'm just going to release it. It's not quite right, but I'm going to do it anyway. And now all of a sudden I'm getting all the customers, and I'm just saying, hey, I want your feedback, because this is what I'm trying to change, what I'm thinking about perfecting. They come back and they say, no, this is perfect. Great, keep selling what you got, perfect it on the back end, then kick it out and meet with the same people. Hey, try it out.
Yeah.
How does this one taste? Oh, so much better. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we can reach that perfectionism, but we have to at least start somewhere.
Yeah. And you know, and Neil is actually doing what he says. I'm a beta tester for you.
He does it all the time. You guys
Yeah.
have no idea. Like, really, when he said pray for him, pray for him.
Yeah.
He does a lot of beta testing.
And that's, you know, he's got a product coming. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I've been beta testing it for probably 6 months now, maybe longer.
Yeah, man, I think it's longer. Yeah.
And I came back and gave him some modifications that I
Yeah.
wanted to see that I liked in it, and he
Mhm.
was able to make those changes. But
Yeah.
it was better for you to, because you would have never known,
Mm-mm.
because, you know,
Yeah, I could have kicked it out to the market, and now all of a sudden nobody's getting it, or they're like, yeah, it's okay, but I wish it had.
Yep.
And it just goes to how I think it should be, but I need it to be for the users, the people who will actually be using it. So, yeah, Mickey beta test stuff for me. Probably, I'd say on the monthly.
monthly,
I mean,
every other
I'm
month.
trying to be generous.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, but that's kind of where this goes to, right? Like, I mean, you could even use Pareto's principle when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, here we go again.
the 80-20 rule.
Here we
I know,
go.
he's... This is the fun stuff. Because, like, we spend 80% of our time working on things that go to only 20% of our results.
Right.
And 20% of our time going to things that go to 80% of our results. You can use that for this as well. If we are 80% complete with a product, and we spend the last 20% of that time just tweaking it up, we're using a lot of time when we don't even know if it's going to be perfect yet. We don't even know if it's going to sell.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so we can take that and say, okay, well, this is the 20% I need to focus on. Let's get it out there. Let's see what's going on, because this is what people truly care about and want. And then you can get those 80% results based on that data.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a big fun thing.
Absolutely. Hey, we got another person.
Heyo,
Hey, what's up?
welcome. You can say hi in the chat. We haven't said anything. Tanya did.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, we don't know. We can't see who's on there.
Uh,
So, hi. Thanks
Hi.
for coming in.
yay.
Yay.
But yeah, so what are some other ways you think that people should start, or things that are holding them back from starting?
Yeah. So, man, that's a great question, because how do you say something like, hey, get out of your own way
Mm,
and be nice about it?
That's really mean, Mickey.
it is. I'm not been known to be nice.
it's not very nice.
I never said I was,
I work
but
with them daily.
oh, you're killing me, Smalls. So that's the thing. It's it's one of those things that you always have to remember your why. And if you are consistently getting in your own way of your why, you're never going to go further.
Mm.
It's similar to that treadmill effect that we talk about with business
All the
owners.
time.
It's the same thing. You become on that treadmill where you're going, oh, I need to work on this, I need to work on that, and you never get off the treadmill and put it into play.
Yeah, that's very true.
So you're never going to hit your why on a treadmill.
Yeah, you'll never move that needle because you're constantly in the same spot trying to
Yeah.
get it perfect.
Exactly right.
And there's no way we will never get to the perfect. We should always be striving to improve. And that's the other thing that we have to think of, is if you think about it that way, then it's okay, cool. I'm constantly striving for that perfection. If I know I'm not going to hit it, I will constantly get feedback to continue making it perfect. Going back to Apple, they improve the iPhone all the time.
They do.
You get updates constantly. Sometimes I don't like the updates, but we get them all the time, right? There's new features, new things constantly coming out. And that's the thing I think we really have to stop and consider. So the more complex a product, service is, when it initially hits the market, the less people are actually going to look for it or want to use it. Because we are in a society nowadays where it's like, I can get to it in 3 clicks. If it takes more than 3 clicks, I'm probably not going to do it. So if we all of a sudden, hey, I have this product and it has 20 features, people are going to be like, I just want to see it first.
Yeah.
I just want to try it. So here's my product with 3 features. Cool. Perfect.
You mentioned Apple, and it's funny because Apple does come out with new stuff all the time.
All the time.
And there are hundreds of influencers out there that are making a killing telling you all the things that came out in those updates because we don't search for those. We don't use them. So they are an example of putting so much into those
Yes.
that nobody even knows they're all there.
Yeah. But if they would have started like that, people would have been like, this iPhone thing is way too
Too
confusing.
complicated.
Let me go back to my old school flip phone or the Nokia brick because it's simple and easy and the brick doesn't break. So
They do not.
yeah, so if we are trying to create something and that's what's keeping us back by making it perfect for all these features, it won't even work in the market anyway.
Yeah.
So it's got to be simple when it starts to begin with.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you have any old man wisdom for us?
Oh, put me on the spot. I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, here we go.
So, my old man wisdom, and it might seem a little bit harsh today, but it is get out of your own way. And remember your why. Your why is the most important thing in the world. This is why you started a business. You started a business because you want to do X. You want more time with your family. You want to take more vacations. You want to do whatever. But if you can't get your product on the street, nobody's buying it. You're leaving money on the table.
That's exactly right. I like that. Get out of your own way. It is kind of harsh. He is kind of mean. If you can see.
But it's out of love. I don't
It
mean
is.
it in a bad way. It is 100% meant to make you better.
But I think you're exactly right, because that is getting over that perfectionism mindset. That is truly that link between that low self-confidence and not wanting the negative feedback on something you spent a lot of time and effort on. Getting
Yep.
out of your own way right there welcomes the feedback, opens yourself up to make what you are working on better. Because we should always be striving to improve. So I think that's amazing old man wisdom.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Because that's what I do to him all the time. is I give him something and I know it's not perfect. I will even send him, hey, this is complete draft. Please don't be mean because the format's awful or this is terrible. I just need your opinion on this because I know he's going to come back and be like, well, this is wrong. There's too many spaces here and this is formatted incorrectly. I'll be like, I know.
Yep. The first SOP draft, there was probably, I don't know, 15 spelling corrections.
That's probably very true.
And I was like, dude.
I'm
I just
kind of
started fixing it and sent it back. I didn't even tell him I started fixing them.
Kind of excited it's only 15. I did good.
But they're great now.
Yeah,
And
but
they're
now
perfect.
they're great. And it was more, I needed him to look at that stuff, and I really needed him to make sure it made sense. I mean, he's the one using it. I need him to be like, no, this makes total sense. I love this. Or this part makes 0 sense to me, which he came back with quite a few of those of like, hey, I don't understand this part.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's fix it. Let's make it better so you can. And if I never would have done that and I just would have kept going over it and over it and over it and over it, I never would have known that it wasn't useful for him.
Yeah. And on that note, we evolved that when we came out with our president board.
Correct. Yep.
Our line in the SOPs was just basically one line item, and
It is.
now we have changed that, or you have changed that, to include information and data on the president board that we have.
Yeah. So we were able to update it with the change request aspect of SOPs. See how we can do this. It's pretty awesome.
Change request for us is me sending an email.
That's right. And then
Can
I
you
do it.
fix this,
I do it.
please?
But it's how our procedure works.
Works good that way for us.
It does. But it's the same thing whenever we kick it off for a business, product, service, whatever it may be. We have to make sure we have something that allows us to fix, allows us to continue improvement. Because if we're just striving for perfection, we will never hit it.
Nope.
We should always be saying, hey, I have enough to get this thing kicked off and to open myself up for feedback, to get out of my own way, like Old Man Wisdom says.
We need more tacos.
And eat more tacos. Yep. But that is about time, and I think it wraps us up. So thank you all for listening and joining us for our amazing live podcast. This was awesome. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. The more followers, the more we get to help people, and that's truly what we're all about.
Yep.
So that's all we got. So we'll catch you guys later. Thank you.
See ya.
Sweet. Let's go with this.
Can you see the other person was like,
Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. And my coast board got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.